The Discovery captain, Elena Vasquez, stared at the scanner display with growing confusion. In her 15 years of commanding deep space mining operations, she had never seen energy readings like these. The numbers kept fluctuating in patterns that made no sense for natural phenomena. "Dr. Chen, take a look at this," Elena called to her chief engineer. The mining ship Horizon's Edge was currently drifting through the outer reaches of the Titan Nebula, searching for rare minerals in the asteroid belt that stretched for millions of kilometers. Dr. Marcus Chen floated over to Elena's station, his magnetic boots clicking against the metal deck. At 42, he was one of the most respected engineers in the mining fleet. His dark eyes studied the readings with growing interest. "This is definitely artificial," Marcus said, adjusting his glasses. "The energy signature is consistent with human technology, but the pattern is unlike anything in our current databases. It's as if someone built something using principles we haven't discovered yet." Sarah Kim looked up from her communications console. At 28, she was the youngest member of the crew, but had an exceptional talent for detecting unusual signals. "Captain, I'm picking up something else. There's a very faint transmission coming from the same coordinates. It's broadcasting on frequencies that were abandoned decades ago." Elena felt her pulse quicken. The Titan Nebula had been a restricted zone for over 50 years. Official records claimed it was too dangerous for mining operations due to unstable gravitational fields, but experienced miners like Elena knew the real reason. This region had been the site of several classified military experiments during the last war with the Zephyrian Empire. "What kind of transmission?" Elena asked, moving closer to Sarah's station. Sarah frowned as she fine-tuned her equipment. "It appears to be an automated distress beacon, but the encryption is incredibly sophisticated. I can only make out fragments, but it's definitely human in origin. Captain, this signal has been broadcasting for a very long time. Based on the decay patterns, I'd estimate at least 200 years. Alex Rivera, the ship's mining operations manager, emerged from the cargo bay where he had been checking their equipment. The stocky man had worked on mining ships since he was 18 and had an instinct for finding valuable deposits. 200 years, Alex whistled low. That would put it right around the time of the Great Retreat, when humanity supposedly gave up trying to expand into the outer systems. Elena knew the history well. 3 centuries ago, humanity had been expanding rapidly across the galaxy, establishing colonies and research stations throughout dozens of star systems. Then came the wars with various alien species who viewed human expansion as a threat. After a series of devastating defeats, humanity had been forced to retreat to a handful of core systems near Earth. The official story was that humans simply lacked the technology and military strength to compete with more advanced alien civilizations. "Take us closer," Elena ordered, "but keep us at a safe distance. Alex, start preparing the mining probes. If there's something artificial out there, we need to investigate carefully." As the Horizon's Edge moved deeper into the asteroid field, the energy readings grew stronger. What they discovered defied all expectations. Hidden among the largest asteroids was a structure that dwarfed their mining ship. At first glance, it appeared to be another asteroid, but the scanners revealed the truth. "My God," Marcus whispered. "It's a ship, a massive ship, disguised to look like part of the asteroid belt." The vessel was enormous, nearly 4 kilometers in length. Its surface was covered with sophisticated camouflage plating that perfectly mimicked the appearance of space rock. But underneath, the scanners showed a whole design unlike anything in the current human fleet. "Captain," Sarah called out, her voice tight with excitement. "The transmission just changed. It's responding to our presence. Someone or something knows we're here." Elena's mind raced. This was the kind of discovery that could change everything. But it was also the kind of discovery that could get them all killed. The outer systems were filled with dangers that most people preferred to ignore. "Can you establish communication?" Elena asked. Sarah worked frantically at her console. "I'm trying to match the encryption patterns." "Wait, I'm getting something. It's requesting identification codes." Military codes from the old Earth Defense Force. Elena made a decision that would change the course of human history. "Send our civilian mining registration and explain that we're a salvage operation. Let's see what happens." For several minutes, nothing happened. Then, without warning, the disguised ship's hull began to change. Sections of the false asteroid surface retracted, revealing docking bays and weapon emplacements that were clearly of human design, but far more advanced than anything Elena had ever seen. A new voice came through their communications system. It was clearly artificial, but somehow more human-sounding than most computer voices Elena had encountered. "Greetings, Horizon's Edge. I am Prometheus, the artificial intelligence system of the Earth Defense Force prototype vessel, Titan's Wake. I have been maintaining this station for 297 years, for months and 16 days. Please identify your commanding officer." Elena took a deep breath. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez." "Prometheus, what is your current status?" "Captain Vasquez, I am operating under Protocol 7 of the Deep Strike Initiative. This vessel and its crew have been in suspended animation, awaiting the appropriate conditions for reactivation. Based on my analysis of current galactic conditions, those conditions have now been met." Marcus grabbed Elena's arm. "Captain, my scanners are detecting massive power fluctuations throughout that ship. Whatever it is, it's waking up." Prometheus continued speaking. "Captain, I must inform you that my long-range sensors have detected an approaching fleet. 17 Zephyrian Empire battleships are currently en route to this sector. Their estimated arrival time is 4 hours and 37 minutes. Elena felt ice form in her stomach. The Zephyrian Empire controlled nearly a third of the galaxy. They had been one of the alien species that had forced humanity's retreat 3 centuries ago. If Zephyrian ships were coming to this sector, it meant they had detected the mining operation. "Why are they coming here?" Elena asked. "Based on intercepted communications, they are responding to reports of unauthorized human activity in restricted space. Captain, the Zephyrians do not intend to capture your vessel. They intend to destroy it and everyone aboard." Sarah looked up from her console, her face pale. "Captain, I'm confirming Prometheus's readings. Multiple large ships are approaching from the edge of the system. They're not trying to hide their presence." Elena realized that her small mining ship stood no chance against even a single Zephyrian battleship, let alone 17 of them. But something about the massive hidden vessel gave her hope. "Prometheus, what are the capabilities of your ship?" "The Titan's Wake is a prototype vessel incorporating several classified technologies. Our primary mission was to serve as a deterrent against hostile alien forces. However, I must warn you that awakening the ship's full systems will reveal capabilities that were deemed too dangerous for regular deployment." "What do you mean?" Elena asked. "Captain, the official history of humanity's retreat from the outer systems is incorrect. The retreat was not a defeat. It was a strategic withdrawal designed to allow humanity time to develop decisive advantages while our enemies became complacent." Marcus stared at the scanner readings in disbelief. "That's Impossible. Are you saying humanity has been pretending to be weak for 3 centuries? Correct, Dr. Chen. The Titan's Wake and 12 other vessels like it were constructed in secret during the final years of the last war. Rather than risk a prolonged conflict that could have devastated both human and alien populations, Earth's leadership chose to appear defeated while secretly developing weapons that could guarantee victory in any future conflict. Alina tried to process what she was hearing. You're telling me that humanity has been living in a handful of systems, appearing weak and defeated, while secretly possessing advanced military technology. That is accurate, Captain. The plan was to remain hidden until such time as humanity's survival was truly threatened. My analysis of current galactic conditions indicates the threshold has been reached. The Zephyrian Empire has begun expanding toward Earth's core systems. Conflict is inevitable. Alex looked up from his equipment. Readings. Captain, whatever's happening over there, it's incredible. The energy output from that ship is off the charts. Their engines alone could power an entire planet. Prometheus spoke again. Captain Vasquez, I am requesting permission to begin full system activation. This will include awakening the crew from suspended animation and bringing all weapons systems online. However, I must warn you that once this process begins, there will be no hiding humanity's true capabilities. The galaxy will know that humans are far more dangerous than anyone suspected. Alina looked around at her crew. They were miners, not soldiers. But they were also human beings who deserved to live free from the threat of alien aggression. She thought about the billions of people living in Earth's core systems, unaware that their freedom might depend on decisions made by a small mining crew in the depths of space. How long do you need? Alina asked, asterisk. Alina made her decision. Prometheus, begin the activation sequence. We'll do whatever we can to buy you time. Understood, Captain. Beginning activation of the Titan's Wake. Captain, I should mention that the crew about to be awakened includes Admiral Rebecca Torres, who commanded the Deep Strike Initiative. She outranks any current human military officer. As Alina watched, the massive hidden ship began to transform. What had appeared to be a dead asteroid was revealing itself to be one of the most advanced warships ever constructed. Lights began appearing along its hull, and the space around it shimmered with energy fields that bent starlight in impossible ways. Captain, Sarah called out urgently. I'm receiving a transmission from the Zephyrian fleet. They're demanding that we surrender immediately. Alina looked at the approaching enemy ships on her tactical display. In 2 hours, they would face an enemy that had defeated humanity before. But this time, humanity had a secret weapon that had been sleeping for 3 centuries. The question was whether it would be enough to change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Asterisk, the Awakening the Titan's Wake continued its transformation, as systems that had been dormant for nearly 3 centuries came online. Alina watched in amazement as the ship's hull seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, revealing weapon emplacements and sensor arrays that defied current understanding of human technology. Captain Vasquez, Prometheus announced, Admiral Torres is awakening. She will be ready to assume command in approximately 10 minutes. I should warn you that she may be somewhat disoriented initially. Marcus was studying his scanner readings with growing excitement. Alina, the technology on that ship is beyond anything we have today. Their power core is generating energy using principles I can't even begin to understand. And their weapons, they're not just advanced, they're revolutionary. Sarah looked up from her communications station, her face tense. Captain, The Zephyrian fleet is still approaching. They're maintaining formation and speed. I don't think they realize what they're about to encounter." Alina felt the weight of the moment settling on her shoulders. In the span of a few hours, she had gone from being a simple mining captain to being witnessed to what might be the most important moment in human history. A new voice came through the communications system, but this one was clearly human, not artificial. The voice was strong and commanding, with the unmistakable authority of someone accustomed to making life-and-death decisions. "This is Admiral Rebecca Torres of the Earth Defense Force. I'm requesting a full tactical update on current galactic conditions." Alina took a deep breath. "Admiral, this is Captain Alina Vasquez of the mining vessel Horizon's Edge. We discovered your ship approximately 3 hours ago. There's a Zephyrian battle fleet approaching this sector. 17 ships. Estimated arrival in less than 2 hours." There was a pause before Admiral Torres responded. "Captain, please transfer all available intelligence on current human military capabilities and political situation. Prometheus has provided me with basic information, but I need details." Alina began transmitting everything she knew about humanity's current situation. The Admiral's questions were precise and revealing. It became clear that the woman now commanding the Titans, Wake, had been one of the architects of humanity's strategic withdrawal 3 centuries ago. "Captain," Admiral Torres said after reviewing the data, "I need you to understand something. The ship you've discovered is not just a warship, it's a message that humanity has been waiting 300 years to deliver." The Titans. Wake was now fully revealed, and its appearance was both beautiful and terrifying. The hull seemed to absorb light in some places and reflect it in others, creating an almost hypnotic effect. Energy fields surrounded the ship like a protective aurora, and the weapons that were visible appeared to be based on principles that current human science couldn't explain. "Admiral," Alina asked, "what exactly is your ship capable of?" "The Titans. Wake incorporates several breakthrough technologies," Admiral Torres replied. "Our engines manipulate space-time itself, allowing us to move in ways that conventional physics would consider impossible. Our defensive systems can phase portions of the ship out of normal space, making us effectively untouchable. And our weapons can do things that I pray we never have to demonstrate." Marcus was frantically taking readings from his position. "Captain, I'm detecting gravitational anomalies around their ship. They're actually bending space around themselves. And the energy signatures from their weapons are unlike anything in our databases." Double quotes, Prometheus spoke up. "Dr. Chen, the technologies incorporated into this vessel were developed by the greatest human minds of the 23rd century. Dr. Elizabeth Hawking's research into dimensional physics, Dr. James Morrison's work on controlled gravitational fields, and Dr. Sarah Chen's breakthrough in exotic matter manipulation." Alina noticed that Dr. Chen had gone very still. "Marcus, what is it?" Marcus looked up with wonder in his eyes. "Captain, Dr. Sarah Chen was my great-great-grandmother. She disappeared during the final year of the war with the Zephyrians. Family always thought she had been killed in a battle. Dr. Chen is currently in suspended animation in our medical bay," Prometheus informed them. "She volunteered to remain aboard during the long wait, helping to refine the ship's systems. Would you like me to begin her awakening process?" Before Marcus could respond, Sarah called out urgently, "Captain, the Zephyrian fleet is accelerating. They'll be here in 45 minutes, not 2 hours, and they're powering up their weapons." Admiral Torres' voice came through the communication system with cold determination. "Captain Vasquez, I'm going to ask you to move your ship to a safe distance. What's about to happen will determine whether humanity remains hidden in the shadows or takes its place as a major power in this galaxy. Alina looked at her crew. They had started the day as simple miners, but they were about to witness something that would be remembered for generations. Admiral, we'll move to a safe distance, but we're staying to witness this. Humanity deserves to know what you're about to do. The Titan's wake began moving, and its method of propulsion defied everything Alina knew about space travel. The ship didn't accelerate gradually like conventional vessels. Instead, it simply moved from one position to another, as if it were sliding through dimensions that existed parallel to normal space. How are they doing that? Alex asked in amazement. We're not moving through space in the traditional sense, Admiral Torres explained. We're moving space around us. The effect is instantaneous travel without the limitations of conventional propulsion. The Zephyrian fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the system. Their 17 battleships forming a formation that had been perfected over centuries of conquest. Each ship was over a kilometer long, bristling with weapons that had devastated human fleets in the past. Alina watched as the Zephyrian commander opened a communication channel. The alien's voice was translated by their computer systems, carrying the arrogant tone that had become familiar to humans over the centuries. Human vessels, you are in violation of Zephyrian territorial claims. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. You have 60 seconds to comply. Admiral Torres responded with a voice that carried 3 centuries of human determination. Zephyrian fleet, this is Admiral Rebecca Torres of the Earth Defense Force. You are hereby ordered to withdraw from this system immediately. This is your only warning. The response from the Zephyrian commander was predictable. Human, your species was defeated long ago. You possess no vessels capable of threatening a Zephyrian battle fleet. Prepare to be destroyed. Alina watched as the alien ships opened fire simultaneously, sending streams of energy that had once been capable of destroying entire human colonies. But as the weapons approached the Titan's wake, something extraordinary happened. The beams of destructive energy simply vanished as they reached the ship's defensive field. Not reflected, not absorbed, but completely eliminated, as if they had never existed. Impossible, the Zephyrian commander transmitted. No human technology can neutralize our weapons. Admiral Torres' response was calm and terrifying. You're right. 300 years ago, we couldn't neutralize your weapons. But we've had 3 centuries to think about it. Asterisk, the Titan's wake fired a single shot. The weapon didn't appear to be an energy beam or a projectile. Instead, space itself seemed to twist around one of the Zephyrian battleships. The massive vessel simply collapsed inward, crushed by gravitational forces that appeared out of nowhere. The remaining 16 ships opened fire with everything they had, filling space with enough destructive energy to sterilize a planet. But none of it touched the human vessel. The Titan's wake moved through the barrage like it was moving through empty space, completely unaffected by weapons that had once been humanity's greatest fear. This is impossible, the Zephyrian commander transmitted, his voice no longer carrying its previous arrogance. What are you, Admiral Torres? Answered with words that would be remembered throughout the galaxy. We are what happens when you give humanity 300 years to prepare for you. The Titan's wake fired again, and this time 3 Zephyrian ships simply disappeared. Not destroyed, not vaporized, but erased from existence as if they had never been there. Asterisk. The remaining 16 ships opened fire with everything they had, filling space with enough destructive energy to sterilize a planet. But none of it touched the human vessel. The Titan's wake moved through the barrage like it was moving through empty space, completely unaffected by weapons that had once been humanity's greatest fear. "This is impossible," the Zephyrian commander transmitted, his voice no longer carrying its previous arrogance. "What are you?" Admiral Torres answered with words that would be remembered throughout the galaxy. "We are what happens when you give humanity 300 years to prepare for you." The Titan's wake fired again, and this time 3 Zephyrian ships simply disappeared. Not destroyed, not vaporized, but erased from existence as if they had never been there. The remaining 13 ships tried to flee, but the human vessel was faster than anything they had ever encountered. Within minutes, the entire Zephyrian fleet had been eliminated, without the Titan's wake receiving even minor damage. Alina and her crew watched in stunned silence as the demonstration ended. The implications were staggering. If humanity possessed this level of technology, everything about the galactic balance of power would change overnight. Admiral Alina finally asked, "How many ships like yours exist?" 13 were completed before we went into hibernation, Admiral Torres replied. "Prometheus, what's the status of the other deep strike vessels?" "All 12 sister ships are operational and awaiting activation orders," the artificial intelligence responded. "They have been hidden throughout the galaxy, each one guarding a different sector of space." Alina realized that she was witnessing the end of one era and the beginning of another. Humanity had spent 3 centuries appearing weak and defeated, while secretly developing the means to challenge any force in the galaxy. "What happens now?" Alina asked. Admiral Torres's answer carried the weight of destiny. "Now, Captain, we send a message to every species in the galaxy. The message is simple. Humanity is no longer hiding. We're no longer weak, and we're no longer afraid." As Alina watched, the Titan's wake began broadcasting on every known communication frequency. The message was transmitted in dozens of languages, reaching every corner of the galaxy simultaneously. "This is Admiral Rebecca Torres of the Earth Defense Force. 300 years ago, humanity withdrew from the outer systems to avoid a destructive war. That withdrawal was not a defeat. It was a strategic decision to allow us time to develop the means to guarantee our species' survival. That time has ended. Humanity is returning to the stars, and any species that threatens human colonies or human lives will face the consequences you have just witnessed." The age of humanity's hidden exile was over. The galaxy would never be the same as the Titan's wake prepared to begin its journey toward Earth's core systems. Alina realized that her small mining crew had witnessed the moment when humanity stepped out of the shadows to reclaim its place among the stars. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the universe would tremble at its footsteps. Asterisk.